Are unpaid internships a scam? Let's talk about this. Now, in today's video, I'm not gonna generalize everything. I'm just gonna give you some examples, and based off these examples, you'll be able to identify if you should be going for a particular internship or not. Right? First example: a bunch of students are starting a startup in a college, and they're inviting you to be part of it. In this case, since it's a college startup, उनके पास obviously revenue नहीं रहेगा. They'll be earning zero. So you can just, for the sake of experience, be part of the team, work together, hustle in college, and build a project. Now, in few cases, when a startup is being founded in college, they might give you a piece of equity, कुछ shares दे देंगे अपने company का to you. And in that case, it's even better because if that startup succeeds, then वो जो आपके पास shares रहेंगे, its value will increase and you can make a lot of money out of it. I'll give you an example. Now at BITS Pilani, there's a startup called Pepper Content, which was started in college while the founders were in their second year. The people who joined them at that time, early on, maybe they might have got some equity, and right now they raised a Series A of $4.2 million. So that some amount of shares that they got because they were part of the early founding team has just multiplied to a lot of money. So if something cool is happening and if you're getting a piece of equity, those shares mil rahe hain, then it doesn't matter if it's paid or not. You can be part of the early founding team and ultimately get some incentive out of it. Second scenario, there is a company which is making a lot of money. It has a revenue of say more than 1 crore, and it's offering unpaid internships where you just have to market them. Maybe you're a campus ambassador, maybe you're just someone who has to do sales, something like that. And it has a lot of revenue. And if it's an unpaid internship, then in most cases you shouldn't be taking it because the company does have revenue, it's making profits, and it makes sense for the company to pay you. It's one of their jobs. So do not go for such internships where they're not offering you shares, if they're not offering you any sort of incentives, if they're not offering you a salary, then there's no point going for such internships. So if it's a big bummer, if you see such internships and you can say no, unless you have a very strong reason to work. Maybe you like the founders. You think that these founders are amazing and these are people you want to hang out with. In those cases you can, but in 90% of the cases, I would say do not work with such companies who have revenue, but they aren't paying you. It's just selfish. Third scenario, which I would also call a scam, is when people ask you for money to work for their company. It's a huge scam. मुझे अगर काम करना है तो मैं क्यों किसी और को pay करूँ? It doesn't make sense, right? And in fact, you'll be surprised. You'll be like, Harish, ऐसे कौन करता है? Who pays to get a job? But you'll be surprised by the amount of people who get scammed this way. So many of these jobs called data entry jobs where these people go to say college students or say housewives, and they're like, hey, pay me 100 rupees, I'll give you a job, and once you do this particular job of typing or some low skill task, I'll pay you some 5,000 rupees. Then they'll never pick up your phone and they'll just flee away. So do not do aise wale kaam jisme they're asking you to pay for getting a job. In most cases it's just a scam and you don't want to be in such a situation. Also, it's such a low skill job, right? Do not go for a low skill internship jisme bas aapko type karna pad raha hai. You'll learn nothing. So go for an internship that actually teaches you stuff. Go for an internship जिससे आपको मालूम पड़े कि how does a company work, what's the organizational structure. Ultimately, you'll learn a bit of code, or you'll learn a bit of sales, or you'll learn a bit of marketing. Do internships so that you can actually learn something that's employable. सिर्फ typing करने से क्या होने वाला है? Even campus ambassadors, it's fine if you're doing it for fun, but it's not actually an internship. You aren't going to learn a lot by just forwarding WhatsApp messages. So do something that actually gives you a reward. Do something जिसमें आपको team के साथ involve होके कोई ऐसा काम कर रहे हो which has a real impact. Because there's no job, there's no happiness in doing menial छोटे-मोटे tasks, right? Fourth scenario, there are some internships that will tell you that you'll get a certificate at the end of the internship. Now, these are legit companies that are earning a lot of revenue, but they aren't paying you, and instead of paying you, they'll just give you a digital certificate. Now, that's not useful, right? Just getting a certificate isn't gonna play much of a big role. So do not go for such internships as well, because it's kind of exploitation. Because if you're a company who's earning money, अगर आपको 2-3 crore अगर आप annually कमा रहे हो, then why not pay an intern, right? So these companies, you can do it for the experience sake, whatever, but it's not an ethical way of doing business. बहुत selfish सा motive है. So I would not intern for such companies. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. I hope you got some insights about how these things work. ये जो भी मैंने examples बताए थे, these are examples that I've seen all over the internet, so I thought I'll just clear it up for you guys. Remember the rules. Do an unpaid internship only if it matches one of these criteria. you're part of the founding team. अगर आप मतलब अर्ली टीम के पार्ट हो और आपको मतलब कॉलेज में कुछ स्टार्टअप है, नया कुछ कर रहे हो, एंड यू आर पार्ट ऑफ दैट इनोवेशन, ग्रेट, यू कैन डू इट अनपेड, चलता है बिकॉज यू आर डूइंग समथिंग मच ग्रेटर. सेकेंड, यू आर गेटिंग सम शेयर्स. अगर कोई कंपनी बोल रही है कि इंस्टेड ऑफ पेइंग यू आई एम गोना गिव यू सम शेयर्स, इवन दैट्स टोटली फाइन. अगर आपको लगता है कि वो कंपनी आगे जाके बड़ी हो जाएगी, देन द वैल्यू ऑफ दोज शेयर्स विल बी मच लार्जर एंड यू विल बेनिफिट आउट ऑफ इट. Thirdly, you're getting some other incentive. So instead of, अगर कोई छोटी सी startup है, तो instead of giving money, they might give you some swags, or they might give you some, cool stuff like Red Bull cartons. So even that's fine. बहुत छोटी मोटी company है, तो you can take that as well. But if it's a company that's trying to exploit you, if it's a company that's making money but they aren't paying you because they just want to exploit you, or if it's a company that's asking you to pay for some scam data entry job, then do not go for it. And that's pretty much it. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. And people who have experience, share your experiences down below. Were there any times you got scammed? Were there any times that you actually learned something by doing an unpaid internship? And let's see what happens. Take care. Bye. See you.